Hello. Happy Friday. Turn that down just a second there. A little bit loud. Hi, everybody. Only one likes me right now, and it's Ziggy. Oh, Ziggy. Can't go wrong with Ziggy. She always gonna love you. What's up, Roy? I know you're about to stream, so I hope you have a good stream, buddy. Alase, I hope I'm saying that right. I know I screwed up every single time. I hope you enjoy D&D. And everybody else, hello, welcome, Friday. I've done a lot of work on this tank. Let me go live on TikTok real quick. And then I gotta get Instagram going too. Add topic. What are we doing? We're doing art, right? Yeah, art. Finishing up the tank model. Go live. I hate that I can only stream in 720, but I guess I just have to fucking deal with it. It's okay, almost no one says it right. Half the time I don't get any. Okay, well, then I don't feel too bad then. But I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the virtual hugs. Let's see, live video. Finishing the tank. Finishing the tank. I say finishing. I'm not finishing. Like, I'm getting modeling finished, but I'm not finishing. God, I wish I was finishing it. Okay. Let's go here. Streaming. Control V. Hit OK. Go live. I hate setting this up sometimes. All right, so I think TikTok is live. Yeah, we're good there. Everything else is bueno. Go live on Instagram. All right. ZZ, what's up? How you doing, man? All right, let me get situated here. I think I'm almost ready. Got to get my goated app going. 1 hour. Oh no, I guess I only did an hour the other day. Interesting. Okay. Clock in. Working on the tank. All right. Hi, everybody. Hello, sir. What's up, Rish? How are you? I'm well, thank you. How about you? I'm doing good, man. I'm here. I'm here. Srivastava. Hello, good morning. For those of you who don't know, I'm actually doing a speaking engagement tonight at a school, or not at the school, but for a school in India, which is really cool. It's exciting. So I'll be doing that tonight after stream. So I figured we'll just, we'll get the creativity going and we'll get the public speaking going and just do a live stream and then have fun with that. Glad you're here and there. Yeah, the internet's a wonderful thing. Good morning, Don Lee. Rishor, good morning. Going all good, sir. I'm glad. Pencil Animator, thank you for the follow on Instagram. All right, I think we're here. So, here she is in all her glory. I have been slowly copying bolts all over the place. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of bolt copying. We're going to do a little bit of detail modeling. There's a lot to be done here. So, yeah. Just looking at everything I need to do. I had to whiten the bolts so I could actually see like where I was putting them. Because I was having a hard time keeping track of everything. Guys, you all are 3D artists. What? Wait, what? What do you mean 1, 2, 3, Danhu? Good morning, Arjat. Hello. Got Ziggy with me right now? Do you? Hold on, let me see. I've got you pulled up. Aww. How sweet. She looks quite happy. Good old Ziggy. All right. You guys don't know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to Roy's Parrot Club, who is also streaming right now, and he's got one of his, or his African Grey on his shoulder right now. Little Ziggy girl. FVX Artist Bro. Yeah. What's up? Let's see. Morning, yes. Okay, sweet. Hello, everybody. Okay. So, I'm still not sure what I want to do yet. I think I'm going to do a couple more bolts and just kind of get in the groove of this, but basically I'm just taking this one bolt, which this bolt, so the way I do this generally is I will group my bolt and then I will start duplicating it everywhere. So everywhere that there's a bolt, it's going to be in one group. That way, when I go to UV it, I can UV one bolt and then stack all the shells on top of it and not have to worry about anything. So that's going to be the nice thing there. Don Lee, nice work, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so we're going to copy this guy. We're going to do a couple more bolts up here because this is where, whoa. This is where I kind of worked a bit today on lunch. Let's go ahead and just kind of reorient that a little bit. Looks like a modified Merkava. I don't know what the Merkava is. Let's find out what the Merkava is. Oh yeah, it kind of does. Well, that was definitely not intentional, but it's... Yeah, I could see it. Kind of like a pancake, the turret on that thing. That's cool. I'm a game design student. Nice, very cool. Are you enjoying it? Alright. Thank you for whoever liked the stream on TikTok. I appreciate that. Still trying to figure out how all that works. Alright, so we're just going to place some bolts and get some stuff. Door and hull of Markova for... Yeah, I saw the rear loading door. It's funny because it's kind of like... It seems like it's what some of the inspiration for this thing came from. Which, this is the tank from Star Citizen, the Tumbril Nova. Same thing, load in the back. It's just like a big tank. This is kind of what, like, my inspiration for the scene is going to be. And then I've just been pulling pieces from other tanks and kind of making my own thing. You can show me the model. Yes, that's the model. That's the whole model. Recently post a spaceship model. I want to see final render output. I posted a spaceship model? I'm not working on a spaceship. The last spaceship I did was last year. Oh, wait, you're asking... Oh, you're asking if I can show you... Are you asking to see the ship, the Project 77 ship that I modeled last year? Looks so good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's finally coming together. I'm ready to get on to the next stage. For sure ready to be like done with the modeling part of it because I haven't textured in a couple months and that's bothering me heavily. Okay. Let's drop that in. That should hopefully just... Yeah, that's kind of rough. Alright, so out of interest for being like not horribly inaccurate, I'm just going to leave this as like 1. And then we'll just duplicate this across. So the other way that I do this, right, is that since I'm dealing with all of these bolts now, I'll just create a little subgroup. So Control G, Control D, -1, pops it right over. Verify everything linked up, and then I can take both of those groups and just kind of extract everything back out of them. And plop it there, and then just delete the 2 groups. It's kind of how I stay organized with that stuff. Let's see. Hi, I just want to say that you and your community have literally saved so many of my works. Like, thank you all. I'm glad, Mary Lamb. That's awesome. I'm glad it's helped. That's the whole point of all this. Do you UV the models as you keep on making them, or do you do it all at once in the end? So I do it all at once in the end. So because I don't use Maya's UV editor, I actually bounce over into Rhizome. I don't like bouncing back and forth with every single piece. So what I'll do is I'll save it all to the end. And because Rhizome is so fast, I don't really notice like that much of a like issue. So I'll end up doing all my UV probably as long as I can get this done today or tomorrow. I will start UVing live on stream next week. So that'll be something you guys can watch and look out for. Alright. So I'm torn between wanting to, like, put one of these over here. I really don't think I'm going to because I don't want it to interfere with that. So I need to do something over here. I just don't know what. It definitely looks mean, though. I got the mean look that I was going for. The model's fucking cool. I'm glad people think so because I was starting to stress a little bit that it wasn't going to look good, but I think it's where I want it to be. I think it's good. I'm pretty happy with it. I need to figure out what sort of extra junk I want to add to it though, because I do want to add little details here and there. This thing I've gotten so much reference from, and see, I like that there's just like these panels everywhere. What was that? Oh, Roy, thank you for the bits. Thank you for the 69 bits. Alright, so let's think about this. I think I'm going to add a little like vent hole thing. I don't know what it is, but I saw it on one of the tanks, so I'm going to add it. Shift I. So we're just going to model this out real quick. Nice thing about this stage is, like, I just get to kind of have fun with it and throw things in there that maybe don't necessarily need to make sense, but they look cool and they add some depth to the model. Because that's all I'm trying to do now. You were starting to stress, bro. I'm looking at you making the Mona Lisa live. What do you mean? Yeah, it's... So I go through, like, phases with my models. I'll start off like super confident and then I'll get like halfway through and I'll question like my sanity and like my creativity and like my modeling skills. And then it's, you know, it's peaks and valleys. It happens. I am never like 100% confident in anything I do. I'm just like, it's either going to work or it's not going to work. And this one seems to be working. So I'm pretty happy that it's coming together the way it is. I don't know why I did that. Let's see. I'm gonna do like a little vented thingy doohickey. I don't really know what it's called, but it's there. Also, am I crazy, or did that side automatically fill up as a quad? How did you do that? Okay, so I have a really cool plugin that I use. Let me pull it up real quick because it's on my ArtStation. I should just like permanently have a link to this. So, this is the plugin that I use. It's actually really easy to install. And it's made by Gabriel Nadu, but it's just called Maya Quad Fill. It does the same thing that Blender does. You can just automatically inset your hole if you need to, or if you don't want to do an inset, you can do a full fill like that. And it works on multitudes of different shapes. So as long as there are even edges around it, it works. Super useful. Saves me a ton of time. What is this? I have no idea. This is something I'll do too, is like I'll look at things and I'll be like, oh, okay, cool, that has a neat shape to it, and then I'll just add it somewhere. Okay, bevel. 3. Sweet. Some sort of just like vent cap hood thing, I don't know. Alright, assign existing material. I'm gonna go with that one. And then we'll just go ahead and mirror this across. Let's see. Oh. I can tell Maya's starting to chug a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. People sell plugins. Oh my god, this is saving so much time. Yeah, you can find plugins for all sorts of stuff. I have that one for quad fill. I use another one to generate all of my animation control curves. I need to reinstall that one. But yeah, I've bought tons of plugins for Maya. I only just started doing that though. I didn't used to do that for a long time. Let's look at this. Okay. Turn off snapping. Yeah, that quad fill has probably saved me, like, all encompassing, like, probably hours of work. Hey, started modeling a tank today since it looked fun from the streams. Nice! How's it going? You having any issues with it? How did you apply mirror with the short key? I didn't use the shortcut. No, I just go mesh and then mirror. You can technically do it from the pop-up menu thing, but I'm so bad at using that it's not even funny. At least I think it's in there somewhere. I'm also starting to get into like the understanding why people make custom user interfaces, and I'll probably end up making one for Maya soon. Because I feel like I need one. Alright, so let's go ahead and sync this here. I'm going to do a little something different. Okay, cool. I'm going to scale that down a little bit. We're going to go to Edit, Duplicate Special, and so I need to change Control-C to this one. I think that's it. Apply. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Just kind of the wrong direction. Oh, no, actually that should be right. Oh, I didn't freeze the transforms, my bad. Or we're just gonna do it that way. That's kind of weird. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'll just do this. Edit, group, Control G, center pivot. We're gonna just center that. And then take those out of that group, delete that group, and delete these because they're not needed. Okay, and then I'm going to take these guys, just move them out to the edge here. Okay, turn off the wireframe, good to go. Beautiful. I've done the treads, looking pretty good so far. Nice. Okay, you're doing like your block out and everything. Sweet. Very cool. Blockout's always fun. I always end up like completely like not following my block out, which I'm bad about. I followed it pretty closely for this one, but I did end up changing a lot of it. Guys, I want to remind you too, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you like the stream because it does help us get more viewership and it helps grow the channel. For you and me. Alright. I'm thinking 2 up here, but I want these bigger ones. I have a couple of different sizes of bolts that I'm working with right now. So we're just going to keep doing this stuff. Okay. I don't want to go too crazy with all the bolts, but I do like the detail that they added. When will you start unwrapping? As long as I finish everything this weekend, which I'm thinking I can, Monday. Monday will be the first unwrapping stream. That is the plan, as long as everything goes right. And I should have the time to finish all of this tomorrow, so I'm not hyper concerned about it. Okay, so now I gotta put bolts on these panels here, which these are gonna go off of these ones, which I think these are the same ones. The bolts are nice because they kind of like help just add like another level of detail that wasn't there before. And on this project specifically, I did not want to leave the bolts up to texturing. I wanted this to be as detailed as possible, while also not bricking my computer, which we'll see how that goes when I get the UVs done. Baking the bolts on my wheels gave me untold troubles with overlapping cages. I need to go back and redo a lot of that before finals. That's why I'm not leaving it up to textures. Not that I've had that issue before, but I don't want to run into that issue. Because like usually I'll just use a height map, but I don't want to deal with it. I just figured it would be easier to model them and turn them off when I'm not using or when I'm animating. Because the beautiful thing about this is I'm going to go through and like rig this up so it has a proxy model for animation, and then I'll show you guys how to switch between the proxy model and the high poly model for like final output. So it should be really cool. You make all the assets on the one project, or do you have them pre-made? Every single piece on this tank was made for specifically this tank. I don't usually re-import pieces. I really do want to do some sort of kit bashing kit at some point, but I haven't decided what I want to do with that yet. I think it'd be fun to make one though. Doesn't mind having a line face option. It would save a lot of fiddling with the bolts. I don't necessarily think so unless that was added like later on. I don't know. Let's find out. I've never actually looked, to be honest with you. I know people have complained in the past about not having a feature like Blender. Let's see. You can align to UV. There might be a new tool that I didn't know about. Hold up. Let's do a little bit of learning, and if this works, I'll do a short, quick tip on it tomorrow. So if I do, it's gonna be interesting because how do you select? All right, so modify, snap, align objects, point to point, align objects. So how does that work? I mean, honestly, I don't mind fiddling with the bolts, but if there is a better way to do it. Oop. Okay. So maybe this way? No. It looks like there might be a way. I don't know how to use it yet, so I will toy with that off stream. So potentially, Connor. I'm just not gonna screw around with it right now. Let's see. You don't do kit bashing at all? No, I don't. I don't know. I like making my own stuff, so I've never really wanted to do kit bashing, in all honesty. Random quick question, since you know a bit about rigging, do you think that I could rig slime? Because I have no clue. Yeah, you totally could. So slime rigs use kind of like traditional animation type rigs, so like stretch rigs. So there are configurations you can build out with your IK bone systems and all of that stuff to allow for the stretch. I've never done it myself, so I don't necessarily know how, but I'm sure there's a video out there somewhere. I think I just need to have them separate as one big bolt group in section, as there are a lot of concave areas and baking gets a bit jank with the... Yeah, probably. The tank looks absolutely incredible. UV mapping must be one hell of a thing for the tank. I mean, if you guys want to see what the UV looks like right now. This is probably going to crash my computer. Let me save real quick before I do this, because this has not been UV'd at all. So get ready to have your eyes burn. If it even wants to load. Oh yeah, there we go. So that is the tank in its entirety right now. Looks gorgeously pink. But this is because I don't do my UV in Maya. I'll do it in Rhizome afterwards. It'll be a lot of work, but it's not going to be like nightmarish amounts of work because Rhizome makes it really easy. Okay, let's just get that guy there. Just kind of modify. All right. And then we'll just duplicate this across. Let's see, Control G, Control D, -1. That takes care of that. This is all in an attempt to stay really, really organized because this model is going to absolutely require it. But, I mean, this is like super nice because like I can just go, wait, what are you? Oh, shoot. I left a group. Let's see. So if I need to, I can hide them. I can do whatever. I can just click one link and I've got all of my bolts. This is why you should group things. Okay. So we need some bolts there. I know that much. Take one of these since they're already kind of in the right orientation. Oop. Actually kind of worked out almost perfectly. Thinking like that. Let's see. If I go right above, yeah, that'll work. This is all going to be baked down into a low poly model? No. So most of the work that I do is in sub-D modeling. So I do like VFX work stuff. So I don't usually generally work with low poly. I plan to do a little bit of low poly stuff this year at some point, but it's not like super like eating at me to do yet. That is slightly offset for some reason. Okay. Same thing. Let's ungroup these guys real quick. Oop. Cool. All right. Let's see. What else do I want to do now? I wanted to model some D-rings for down here. So I want to put some like nice D-rings in here. So I think what I'm going to do, let's bring out a cube. Can you explain a bit more by what you mean, what you specialize in? So I do like what's called sub-D modeling or subdivision modeling. So basically in film and VFX, when you build a model out and say you need to get really close to it or you need to stay really far away with it, you can kind of adjust how high quality and high polygon that model is depending on how close or how far you are. So sub-D is nice because you can just kind of infinitely divide the model and smooth it as much as you need. That's the workflow that I follow just because it doesn't have any limits on polygon counts or triangle counts or anything like that. So it's really just more of a, it's just a little bit more free creative wise. And you don't have to worry about, you know, keeping your mesh as low polygon as possible. And honestly, from everyone that I've talked to recently, it sounds like there's kind of a shift now because of Unreal Engine on moving more towards like do whatever you want, like modeling wise. So we might see a change with how both of those sides kind of work, which would be exciting because Unreal Engine handles a lot of stuff. Like it does really well. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and offset this. Me personally, I'm studying model and animation for games for use in UE5. I got you. I haven't touched the high poly stuff. Yeah, I mean, everyone kind of does their own sort of like thing, their own like niche. I chose VFX because it's kind of like what I want to be doing. And it's the way that I like working. I like not having a limit on how much detail I can throw into a model. But yeah, you're absolutely right, especially if you're being taught to bake down your details and do all that stuff. Like, that's all really important for games in general, on top of, like, generating all those maps that you have to generate and everything like that. Because, like, see, for the stuff that I do, I don't really even use, like, AO maps or anything like that. Everything I do is pretty much just handled in offline rendering, so I don't have to fake things. Like, granted, it takes forever, but it's less, like, trying to force things to work and more just kind of creative freedom, in my opinion. Oh, I missed a bunch of messages on Instagram. I'm sorry, guys. Definitely need to go to Udemy route for my next project. You absolutely should, Tamuzu. Looking forward to how you UV this in Ryzen. I'm going to be very useful. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Did you use Boolean while creating some parts? No, I don't use Boolean at all. I was using it for a while to create screws, but I stopped doing that because I found a better way. Have you worked in games or are you mainly in VFX? So everything that I've done is just like freelance stuff. And then I've worked on some like independent films here where I live. I haven't worked in a studio myself. Let's see. Is your workflow for cinema and movies? I think the lecturer touched on it slightly. Yes. Yeah, so basically whenever you see, so like, I don't know, Pacific Rim, for example, like those models are all subdivided high polygon models. They're very dense, they're very detailed, they take a lot of computing power, and that's just the stuff that I work on. Can you share me, how did you learn about high poly topology models? So I learned about it, God, I learned a little bit about it in college, but I didn't really learn much of it until probably a few years after college, when I kind of figured out that sub-D was a thing and low poly game modeling was a thing. So it was kind of like a learned as I went type deal. But as far as like where I've learned a lot of like what I do, I learned a lot from On Mars 3D. I learned a ton from Andrew Hodgson. They both have great YouTube channels that go over like topology and things like that. Andrew's channel was what kind of showed me that like it's okay to have these really dense, complicated models. Because like in general, like you'll never know what your shot is going to be used for, and you know, one of the things is that they never really kind of know what they're going to get used for, so they end up making parts that maybe do get used, maybe don't get used. But that's basically where I learned 90% of what I do. If you guys haven't seen On Mars 3D though, his channel's great. He goes over topology really, really well, and it's something that a lot of people suffer with. And then of course, like if you guys are interested, my channel also has videos on topology going up. So trying to kind of bridge that gap of education, because a lot of schools don't teach people about topology. And it's kind of a bummer. Okay. Alright, so we'll take these guys. We're going to extrude. That's not what I wanted. Okay, let's fix that. Okay. Let's see. I've noticed you use the polyextrude bottom at the top instead of just holding shift when moving. How come? Honestly, just because I'm so used to just hitting the button. Because, like, yeah, I guess I could do that. Honestly, I just forget. But that's a good point. Oh. What? Yeah, I'm one of those people that's very stuck in their ways, so I'm always clicking buttons instead of using shortcuts because I hate learning shortcuts. Can you please comment the channel names? Yeah, so the channel names are On Mars 3D and I think that's how you spell his last name. You'll know his channel though. He worked on Dune 2, so you'll see a bunch of stuff from Dune. Let's see. Rather than the specialized tools I usually use in Maya when I'm in a game studio. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Maya is still pretty heavily used throughout all industries at this point that do 3D. And I don't think that's going to change much anytime soon. But yeah, guys, if you guys are interested, any of those two channels I shared on Instagram, those are people that I learned a lot from, so. And I know On Mars you can find on Instagram as well. Okay, so we need to change this up a little bit because this ain't gonna work. Actually, you know, I could do it the easier way. Hold on. Go to my modeling toolkit, multi-cut. I'm gonna go here. Direct across. And then that's not gonna allow me to go direct across. There we go. You guys will see why I'm doing this in a second. I actually just kind of figured this out the other day. I was kind of mad that I figured it out. That doesn't want to work at all. Okay, cool. So, this creates this kind of loop through here. And the reason I do this is because it allows me to add edge loops if I need to support this. So I can just take these and drag them up. What's up, Zach Hyde? How you doing? I created an extra one there, my bad. There we go. Why are you doing that? There's not enough geo there. We'll fix that in a second, though. Okay, cool. What was the drag tool just then? Control Shift. It does a direct cut through the model. So all I'm doing is the multi-cut tool. And so you can do Control Shift to do a direct cut. Or you can do Control to do a staggered cut that's staggered by 10 degrees. And then, or is it Shift? It might be Shift. Hold on a second. Before I give out wrong information. Control Shift, straight, Control... Oh, that's right. You gotta hold Shift while you're clicking for a staggered, or Control for a full loop. Those channels is topology. They have videos on topology, yeah. Have you rigged one of your models? Yeah, BD1 I actually rigged. If you're on Twitch and you're subscribed on Twitch, you can summon BD1. He jumps up on the screen. Are you considering using Blender for freelance jobs, or you use more of its features? Not really. I pay for Maya, so like I try to get my money's worth out of it. So I don't really have a need to do Blender just because I already have Maya. But I've played with Blender. I tried to do Last year I tried to do the donut tutorial while I was live streaming, and it was hysterically awful. It crashed and I gave up. But since then, I've played a little bit with like the general modeling in Blender, and you know it's very similar to Maya. So like people who are like, oh no, you know modeling's better or whatever, I'm like, it's the same thing, minus the what do you call them? The one of those things that people use, the geometry nodes or something. It's really the only like major difference between the two. This is starting to run kind of crummy. Okay. I meant when you made the cut, you dragged those edges. Oh, that's the, sorry, that's the target weld tool. Never touched Blender, but watching videos on its structural creation seems easier there. It's one of those things where, like, if you start off with it, you probably understand a lot better, but if you're going from, like, say, Maya or Cinema 4D or anything like that, it can be rough. It can definitely be really rough. So, Maya users can relate, absolutely. Tell me how many scope in 3D animation field, because I'm in Pakistan and Pakistani don't pay a lot of money to the project, also third party. Yeah, so I don't know much about Pakistan's 3D environment just because I've never looked at it there. I know India is a pretty popular place right now just because of the kind of VFX boom that's going on there. And then if you can get a visa to the U.S., the U.S. companies will provide H-1B visas for applicants who they want to hire. So there's that. The U.K. has some stuff, but it seems like it's been pretty rough for them recently. They've been closing a lot of studios. BD1 jump scare, yeah. So yeah, I can't really speak to Pakistan so much, but I can tell you that the industry is just kind of rough right now. It's rough everywhere, so finding a job is hard. So that's why I recommend people do social media for now, and then try to find something to pay your bills for a little while. Yeah, it still needs sometimes to get used a lot, though. A lot of shortcuts in Blender when you're used to Maya's marked in minute. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with Blender. I'm not a huge fan of it. That is oddly shiny, and I don't trust it. There's something going on here. Stop. There's like an extrovert or something. Or not. Alright. Cool. Alright, so that gave me a support ring around that. So now, when I smooth that, you can see I can hold my topology really well. Let's see. I'm going to multi-cut that. And we'll multi-cut that and that. Support that. Ah, I forgot something. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. We got some more stuff here. Let's see. Degree is important in our field about the job point of view. Not really. It can help, but it's not going to be like your end-all be-all. So I always recommend that people kind of go for, if you really want to get like certified or like certifications, like go to places like Nomon, go to places like Flip Normals. They've got a lot of courses. What's the other one? This is that other academy that just started up too. I don't know if they just started up. They've just become more popular now. But there's a whole bunch of online options that cost way less than going to a traditional college. That's what I recommend people do now. Only hard surface can be considered as a career? No, absolutely not. You can do character, you can do rigging, lighting, all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of jobs in the pipeline. For 3D and art-related positions, no. Yeah, agreed. How do you even begin to use these sub-D models? So, I'll show you how this works. So technically, right, like, I've got this model here. Let me finish it up real quick, and I'll show you how I can kind of like work with this. I think that's done. Yeah, okay, so sub D, once we mirror this, that's acting kind of weird. Let's freeze those transforms real quick. Mesh, mirror, Z, finding box. There we go. Positive. There we go. Okay, so the way sub D works, right? So when you're far away from it, looks fine. You can't really tell anything, but you get close to it, you can see like that's pretty low poly. Like we're only looking at like 780 faces, which I guess is still pretty high poly for something. But the thing about sub D is we can kind of fake it in Maya, so that's what that 3 mode is for. So we use that 3 mode to fake subdivision, and I just noticed that I duplicated this way back here. But what subdivision does is allows us to move between kind of levels of detail, which you should be familiar with if you're working in Unreal Engine. So if I go in here and I smooth this, this subdivision allows me to just kind of like infinitely kind of crank up how much structural information is on the model itself. And you can technically zoom really close into this if you wanted to, and you're not going to see like any sort of like distortions or weird faces or anything like that. It's really all about mimicking something as naturally as it possibly would look, depending on how high polygon you need to like work with it. So if you want a really good example, Alien Romulus, ILM just released the kind of breakdowns of that movie. And if you look at some of the ship sequences, when the ship is really far away, it's really low polygon. But when it's really close to the screen, it's much higher polygon. So when it comes to stuff like that, that's where they do those adjustments and they figure out like, okay, so like the audience is going to see this on the screen much closer. So we need to subdivide this thing, get it as high polygon as possible, high resolution textures, all of the, you know, the full 9 yards. That's why you would do that. And that's kind of how you would start to use these. Let's see. Character creation was one of the hardest things I did recently for a module. Characters are hard. Yeah, characters are really hard. LOD, I want to explore that for an independent study next semester. Yeah. With Unreal, it's a little interesting. I haven't played with it enough. I do know that Nanite destroys every one of my models when I put it in there, so I don't use it anymore, but I'd like to experiment with Nanite more. No, I mean, if I'm interested only in hard service, can I serve? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, as long as you have companies in your area or like, you know, prospective companies that you're going for, like hard surface is always needed. Disney's cranking out Star Wars crap left and right, so like there's always needs for, or a need for stuff like that. It's way too thick. See, and that just pretty sure. Oh, right. I was doing that and then I realized I had an issue. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so the use of manure, and AI in video games seems to have made them worse, kind of. What I want to explore, why that is, and make my own environments and models the same quality, but without cutting corners. No, I get that, yeah. I mean, LODs are cool. Like, LODs function really well, and Nanite has been used really well. I just don't know personally how to use it. Hot take. I was hiring a bunch of artists for our studio, and it's actually very hard to come by quality hard surface artists. It's a lot more rare than it seems. Yeah, I don't know why. I've talked to, like, my buddy Jared, like, I've talked to him, and he's just like, yeah, I gave the hard surface thing a try and didn't like it, which he's a phenomenal character artist, so, like, I totally get it. But I spent last year searching for as many as I could find, and, like, some of the only really, like, good ones that I found were, like, Ahmed, who's the On Mars 3D, and then, what do you call it? Andrew Hodgson. He's he's so solid. He's really good at what he does, but like, not too many of them like around anymore, which is kind of sad. Because this, I don't know, I love hard surface, so it's been something that I always enjoyed. Whenever I hit extrude, sometimes it creates multiple edges overlapping each other, which can cause the problem to... Oh, causes problems further into the project. Is there a way to fix this? I can't say I've had that problem. I know in like older versions of Maya, it was kind of just like a common thing that happened. So I guess it really depends on like what version of Maya you're on. But usually if it's doing that, that means there's some sort of geometry lying underneath. So if you're extruding like a cylinder or like a circular face, and then there's a piece of geometry underneath it, it'll grab both of them and then it'll kind of splay it out. So that's one thing to check for. But yeah, that's tough. Get me in that studio. I love hard surface modeling and prefer that. It's ideally what I'd like to be doing. I mean, I do kind of like follow like the generalist route, but I love hard surface modeling, so I would totally be down to do it as like a career. And I might at the end of this year or middle of this year, depending on how things go for me. So your YouTube channel, link in the bio. Yes, there's a link in my bio. Is that good? I'm not seeing any distortion, so. All right, well, that's part of it. So I want this to sit in here. But I also don't want to make it too small. Yeah, if you guys are interested, I'm doing a video on topology, or a video series on topology on my YouTube channel right now. So if you haven't seen those yet, they're really good ways to start learning like hard surface topology. I'm trying to do it from like a simple standpoint all the way up to like complex objects. So I'm trying to do like every sort of scenario you could think of. Okay. So that's solid. No. Oh, you know why? Yeah, that's why. It's just kind of a weird shape. Sink it back a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Cool. Let's see. TBF characters are hard, but it wasn't until after you model finished that I learned you can make armor pieces as well with ZBrush. Yeah, ZBrush is really cool. I mean, you can do a lot with ZBrush. I'm currently learning organic modeling in ZBrush just because it's something I want to play with and I want to do. Making a full medieval honor set. God, I can't speak. Making a full medieval armor set would have been so interesting to attempt, and I wish I found out sooner. Yeah, ZBrush has all sorts of hidden tricks. It's kind of crazy. Is there an alternative for 3D cursor, but in Maya? I searched in Google for some time, but didn't find anything. 3D cursor. I don't know what 3D cursor is, so let's see. Is that a Blender thing? Oh, it is a Blender thing. Cursor is a point space that both location point is used for a number of purposes. For example, defines newly added objects or place. It can also be used to manually position and orient the transformed good. Oh, right. I think this is what Connor was talking about earlier. No, not that I know of. ZBrush is the worst program I've ever touched, though. Not even having the save option. It does. It's just, it's goofy. I don't like it, but I'm trying to learn it. You can do some really cool stuff with it, and I'm friends with a lot of people who do really amazing stuff with it, so I'm like, I would like to do something with it. Okay. So we're going to do a curve. We're going to make this D-ring real quick. You know, we've been doing that for like the past 30 minutes, but you know, that's how it goes. Where is it? Where are you? There you are. Okay. It's gonna look like crap, but we'll adjust it. It's actually better than I thought it was. All right. Come on. Which one of you is affecting this? Is it this one? There we go. Okay. Let's see. Instagram, just in case it does it again, keep in mind that they've been killing the stream every hour. So if it goes down, I'll be right back. What do you think about working in indie studios like Glitch Productions, Mob Entertainment, etc.? I think it's awesome. Like, if you can get in with an indie studio, you're probably going to have a better time because it's not going to be as, like, you know, stuffy and locked down. I would love to do something like that, honestly. But I don't have any experience doing so. So, you know, that could be, like, could be great, could be awful. I really don't know. But from everything I've heard, it's generally pretty chill. The only thing that you have to worry about with indie studios is that generally the funding isn't usually there. So, like, you just have to be careful. Which, you know, I don't know. We have AAA games getting canceled left and right, too. So I guess that the same could be said for anything now at this point. But yeah, that's just one of those things, like, if you're going to do indie, just be a little careful with it. Are you familiar with the types of render, mental ray, final gather, etc.? So, I haven't used mental ray in a long time because that was, last time I used that was Maya 2014. But yeah, I'm familiar with them. I hated mental ray with, like, a burning passion. Let's mirror this guy. Bounding box. Z. Alright. Cool. I realize that hole is like way too big now. Yeah, I haven't heard somebody mention mental ray in a long time. To be fair, though, mental ray had caustics, and Arnold does not. So there's that downside. Let's see. Just a reminder, you can do anything you put your mind to, and you're more than enough in this world. Well, thank you so much, Glory Kid. I appreciate that. Hello. I'm probably going to butcher your name. Is it Sirion? Is it true that a good model with bad textures is awful, but a bad model with good textures can be? It depends. Like, it depends on, like, what the purpose is. So, for instance, if you watch, On Mars just did a really good video on topology in games and film, and showed some really bad examples of, like, topology in, like, feature-length films. Like, one of them was The Creator. But the model's texturing hid all of that, so I guess technically yes. When you're applying for jobs, no. So when you're kind of going for, like, jobs and stuff like that, you should be doing everything you can to make sure your portfolio stands out as, like, showing that you have an understanding of what you're going for. Because that's going to be the most important thing there. Maybe Instagram fixed it? Don't worry, everyone. The champions have arrived. Welcome back, Mr. Blazing Man. How you doing, man? Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say they like overlook the models, but I guess it just really depends on like what they're going for. I wish I would have made that a little bit thicker. I mean, I can technically make the D-ring bigger. That's just kind of like comically large. Let's do this. This is gonna be kind of cheating, but also kind of not. Oh, I love how uneven that is. Okay. So I'm gonna try. Wow, that's all jacked up. Okay. Oh wait, no, that's actually technically straight, I think. No, it's not. Tell me your PC processor and graphics card. An RTX 3070 with an AMD Ryzen 3900X. Do you use references? Yes. So this is my pure ref scene that I have for this thing. So I've just been kind of pulling ideas from all of these. The overall scene is going to look something like this. I've used a lot less reference on this one than I have in previous projects. So like, I'll just pull up my ArtStation. So if we go to my ArtStation here. So it really depends. So like on the Xenomorph, I used tons of reference from things like robots and Terminators and the actual aliens themselves and like organic and mechanical structures. Tons of reference on this one. The ship, really no reference. I used the original piece of concept art by Martin Deschambault, but that's kind of all I did for that. So I try to give myself as much creative freedom as I can to actually like kind of build and create what I want to. The minigun, another example of one that I used a lot of reference for, just because like I know there's enough reference out there for it. So hey Kelsey, what's up? To publish an artwork in your portfolio, you should show the shading topology, UV, unwrapping, and poly count. I wouldn't worry too much about poly count, but what I would worry about is doing like, so usually what I'll do is I'll show like a clay render, my UV layout, and my wireframe. Wireframes are really important. They want to see your wireframes. You can technically get away without having clay renders because they don't really matter all that much. I just like them because they're cool. And then UV is helpful too. But those are generally the ones that I would follow. Let's see. Honestly, great. I was given a handheld retro emulator with thousands of games on it. Nice. That's awesome. Nothing. Just chilling, waiting for the boys to go to bed so I can fix my nails. Nice. Oh, I sent you a message, by the way, on Discord, Kelsey. When you have a moment. Oh, Instagram just died. Hold on. Why must we do this? It's like, what is it? 1 hour and 8 minutes. That makes no sense. Tank time. Public. Jeez, man. 1 second, guys. I'll answer your questions in just a minute here. I just gotta fix Instagram because they break their site every freaking day. Go live. Okay, Instagram's back. All right. If you're not in a studio with that portfolio, I will never know how I'll be able to. So, don't think of it that way. I'm not in a studio by choice right now. I make quite a bit of money doing what I do, which is I'm a software application developer for a place out here. And so I make a good amount of money there. I haven't really left yet. I haven't kind of set that aside yet. I'm working on getting to that point. I wanted to get one more piece in my portfolio before I start applying, and that piece is this tank. So this is kind of like my last piece before I start looking for a new career. Because I've been doing information technology for years, and I'm quite tired of it, and that's why I'm focusing so heavily on this stuff now. So the fact that my portfolio looks like that, it's not an indication of not being able to be hired. It's an indication of me not looking. Love your topology. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is it necessary to add a car in my portfolio if I want to enter the gaming industry? No, not really. I don't think so. I've never heard of that. It's a weird requirement. Oh, okay, BRB. Thanks. I'll go to sleep now. 5:10 a.m. Okay. Have a good night, Bogdan. What's your favorite emulated game, Mr. Blazing Man? Did it come with it? I like my PS2 emulator. What's up, Puff and Eat? How you doing? I really need to figure out what I'm doing here. I think this will work. If I just make everything smaller. No, that's not going to work. What am I talking about? I need to compress, so... This is going to look really crappy for like a minute here, guys. Oh yeah, it has everything I can imagine. Nice. Welcome back. Did you enjoy that? It's been a fun year since that happened now. I really feel like I should probably just do this over, but I'm not going to because I'm stubborn. Let's see. I did, holy shit. Yeah, that's something, isn't it? It's pretty crazy. Can't avoid the car then. I mean, yeah, here's the thing, like when you're working on your portfolio, guys, like do something that you want to do. Like don't force yourself to do things you don't want to do. So like if you're doing like practice stuff and you're making tools and things like that, like that's fine. Like do stuff like that. But when it comes to like your big portfolio pieces that you want to put in there, do stuff you enjoy. Like I wanted to make an alien, so I made an alien, but I wanted to make a hard surface alien, so I did that. Like I wanted to do that. Nothing in my portfolio was something that I didn't want to do. So just, you know, keep that in mind. Like, don't force yourself to do things you don't want to do necessarily. Just make sure that you have enough to show that you're competent in what you're doing. Let's see, I was going to ask you... Oh, how you pay for Maya. That's the only thing I'm worried about once the uni finishes. Without the access key provided, I won't be able to add it to my portfolio. Okay, so... The way I buy it is I use what's called Maya Indie. A lot of people don't know about it, but you can go right here. And you can buy it from Autodesk for I think it's $279 a year now. Did they raise the price? They raised the price. $320 a year. That's annoying. I have to renew it in March. So yeah, it's $320 a year, which sounds really painful. It is still expensive, but if you equate it to each month, it still works out to like $25, $27 a month or something like that. So like, it's a Substance Painter subscription. So if it's something you are absolutely passionate about and you want to continue using the software, I recommend going the Maya Indie route. Yeah, they raised it recently. That is, I hope I'm grandfathered in. That's really unfortunate, actually. Let's see. I don't have interest in making a car, but my teacher tells that it'll be a big part of my portfolio, so what should I do? Your teacher sounds like they're probably telling you to do that because it's going to be a project that you guys work on, so it'll be a big part of your portfolio. I don't really know. I can't really speak for your teacher, unfortunately. I didn't straighten that out. I should probably straighten that out. But I can tell you that, like, it doesn't necessarily matter. I don't know why they would say that that matters. Like, if it's going to be a big project for your portfolio, that's totally understandable. But the reality is like, you don't have to do a car if you don't want to do a car. Oh, what's up, Captain Negative? How are you doing? I like the name. I want to focus on environment art specifically, so I heard Houdini is good for making landscape. What's your thoughts, or is there a better way to make landscapes? I don't honestly know. I don't really do landscape stuff, so I've never really kind of worked with it. I know a lot of people use like combinations of like Speed Tree and Houdini and Maya, so I really don't know, unfortunately, there. But Houdini's also free for educational use, so that's cool. That is a big plus. Eureka, when's it coming back? When's what coming back? That's only your assignment. Not sure what that means. Yeah, I mean, if it's something that you're assigned for school, like, I guess I can see why they want you to do it, but your portfolio doesn't have to have a car. Okay, now we're too wide. I'm actually tired of this. And I'm just gonna leave it like it is. So, half an hour of reshaping later. Okay, cool. D-ring. So existing micro details, that's where that's gonna get filed. Ooh, Maya is running a little choppy. Okay. Edit group. Control D. -1. Alright, there we go. So that's coming together. I wonder if it's because I have that on. Probably. When is your... Oh, Eureka. Right. Striker Eureka. I have no idea. I want to bring it back, but I'm also like... It's one of those projects where I'm like not in the mood to bring it back right now. So it's still there. I don't know. Maybe I'll do another 12-hour stream of work on it. I'm not really sure. I wanted to get this done because this is actually going in my portfolio, and this is going to be a really important thing for me this year, so that's why I'm kind of focusing heavily on this one. Yeah, Bug, he wants us to add a car to our portfolio, which I don't have any interest in making. Yeah, you shouldn't be forced to put something in your portfolio that you don't want to do. You should be able to do what you want to, but if your school's requiring it for a grade, you're probably going to have to do it. Very intrigued in modular kits and things like tileable textures. Oh, okay, yeah. So that stuff's really cool. I don't do a lot of it. We have somebody in our Discord, Tamuzu. He does a lot of like kind of procedural stuff with Blender specifically. But yeah, I don't play with it too much, but I know it's cool stuff that you can do with it. All right, hold on a second. Gonna get into some Maya tonight as well. Hell yeah, nice. On the car note, I heard my teacher gave me a tutorial on making a car, and doing that made me go through a lot of different sides of the problem solving, hard surface modeling, which I think could be the case to request a car. Yes, actually, Captain Negative has a really good point. So, cars are difficult. That's why I haven't done one. I did a Jeep way back in the day, and it's kind of awful. Because cars are so smooth, and you have to get like panel gaps and things right, like they are a very challenging thing to do, and they can be really good for learning those skill sets and like designing like kind of your workflow when it comes to hard surface. But I also understand not wanting to do them. But yeah, no, Captain Negative, that's a good point. Mystery Machine, funny enough, I made a tank that looks very similar to this. Nice. I'd love to see it. Awesome, the tank is looking epic. It's getting there. I think we're finally almost ready to UV it anyway. Oh, and texturing, love texturing and learning Substance Painter, messing with it. Yeah, Substance Painter is my favorite. I love it. I hated it when I used it at first. Metallic roughness levels, yeah. Yeah, there's all sorts of cool stuff you can do with Substance. Good morning, Somya? I think it's Somya. All right. So we got some D-rings added. That's fun. I don't know. Maybe some bolts. Come on, let's add a bolt. It makes it look cool. Let's see. I wanted this to be like a bumper, like a Jeep bumper or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, there's enough other types of objects that require the same learning curve as a car is not an interest. Yeah, anything with like a curved metallic surface like that is probably going to be good for teaching the same kind of like skills. Cars can be really daunting, just like, especially as a student. Like when I did the Jeep in college, it sucked. Like I can actually show you guys my Jeep here. Hold on. Where is it? Stills. Art. Nope, wrong one. Art. So if we pull up my old art folder, where's my Jeep? There we go. Here's my Jeep. So like from a distance it looks okay, and then you zoom into it and you see how like bad the paneling is, and like the hood's all crinkled, and like it just wasn't very good. Cars are tough, and this was one of my college finals. Yeah, I don't know if I would redo this. I have a couple models that I'm like, oh, I'd like to redo that, but that one, I don't know. Don't know about that one. Let's see. Hold on, I just missed a couple messages on TikTok. Give me a second. Wait, what? How do you scroll on this stupid thing? Oh, here we go. Do you always nail something first try, or do you take a few attempts? No, it takes a few attempts. I remodeled these treads on this tank twice because I didn't like the way they were working. It takes me a few attempts before I get to look down the topology and support loops. Yeah, a lot of it comes down to practice. Like topology-wise, I don't really struggle as much with topology anymore. I've gotten really fast at it and really like efficient at it. But when it comes to like nailing something the first try, I usually end up doing multiple revisions of something. Made a Fallout console recently for an environment, and it took me so long to get the unnatural shape. Yeah, that's a rough one. Hey dude, do you use purchase software or cracked? I buy Maya. I pay for Maya Indie. Minimum, how much models to be included in the portfolio? Anywhere from like 4 to 8 pieces. My general rule is like 5. So, how much more detail do you think you'll add before you can call it done? I don't know. I'm getting close. I wanna fill this in with something. I just don't know what yet. We're gonna do these slats here next, as long as I don't run out of time, because I'm speaking at a school in an hour. Yeah, just a lot of this is going to be like adding bolts to things, and I've got to do some cleanup work back here, but I've probably got maybe, I don't know, 3 hours worth of work left. I'll end up finishing most of it tonight. I've got some beer ready, and I'm going to be just chilling modeling. Just wait till you guys get to see the animation that I'm going to do with this thing, though. It's going to be sick. I can agree with every model I do. You're never done. You're just in a position where it can be used. Always want to add more. Yeah, and that's actually a really good mindset to get in with, because that's generally how it works in the industry, is that they're never finished. They just have to be done. So when it comes down to it, like, you just got to get it close enough. You know, for personal work, it's a little bit different, and I try to get them as close as I possibly can to where I'm happy with them. But, you know, nothing's ever truly done. You know, I could go back and just redo a ton of stuff if I wanted to, but the reality is like, it's just not worth it. Where did that just go? Oh, I didn't group. Oh, wait a minute. Did I just do Control D? No. Control G. There we go. Beautiful. So we're going to do some slat modeling real quick now. Ooh, Maya is acting a little funky right now, so that means it's time to save a new version. 52. 52 different saves. Let's see. I always lack in scaling the models. Any tips? So that's kind of something that comes down to practice. Like, you need to practice kind of making real world scale items, and then eventually you'll just kind of get better at adding scale and figuring out how to get things to match like whatever your reference is. It takes a long time. It's taken me a long time to get to where I am. Let's see. Hold on a second. I gotta catch up with this other chat. I am Don Lee 07498 JD Factory. You talk about on Instagram? I gotcha. If I do high poly 2, do I do my UVs just at the very end before texture? Yeah, so you'd want to just do them. Usually, like my workflow is I go modeling, UV, texture, and then re-import everything back. That's my personal pipeline. You don't have to do it that way. That's just the way that I found works best for me. But that's generally how I recommend people do that. Nice. I know how you get all hyper-focused on details. Absolutely, I do. to a fault. But this is getting to a point where there's like if I add more, it's gonna look like clunky and like weird. So I don't want to make it too dense. Let's see. Thank you for the follow, Tamal, on Twitch. Appreciate that. Just realized recently one of my projects was scaled wrong, so it limited the texel density tremendously. It's just a pain. I realize it now. Yeah, that's tough. So that's something that people really need to pay attention to, especially when you're getting ready to do all your UVing and stuff like that, is get your scales properly, because you want to make sure that your, whatever measurement you're working in is actually going to work. So usually what I'll do is I'll model everything out and then I'll figure out my scaling. I always want to add more. That's a good point. What's my default scale? I set mine a while ago. It's in meters. I'm pretty sure that the default's meters, so it should be like 1 meter. I think or actually it might be centimeters. I'd have to check. I have no idea. I changed mine a while ago too, so it's probably wrong. What's up, Al? How you doing? Dang, beer sounds nice. I know. I was like, I'm gonna stream, I'm gonna give the speech, and I'm gonna drink. Good night. No one told me that. I even checked with professors to see if it's right, and they never mentioned that. Definitely something I'm learning. Yeah, well, it sucks because, unfortunately, like, your professors in college are never gonna know enough. Like, they're never gonna know everything. They're never gonna be like the all-encompassing, like, know-it-all. It's very hard to find anyone who's like that. Because, like, the reality is like, there's just so much to this stuff that you kind of have to rely on outside sources and, like, more specialized schools. So, it's just, it's kind of what it comes down to, unfortunately. Might send Johnny for someone the babies go to bed. Do it. Have you tried Kona, Kelsey? It's a Hawaiian beer. It's very good. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. I'm feeling accomplished. What are you up to tonight, Al? Yeah, I like it. It's like a dark beer. Yeah, exactly. I love it. I love that it's like everywhere now too. It was actually really funny because, like, I was really excited because when we went to Disney World last year, they have it everywhere now at the parks, and so I was like, oh, this is perfect. I don't have to suffer through like Bud Light. So it's nice to have like a more like exotic beer, I guess, even though it's still considered an import, which I think is stupid. But whatever, beggars can't be choosers. Our concert venue sells it here too, and they call it an import, and it's like $15 a can. I'm like, you guys are ridiculous. All right, Control G, Control D, -1, boom, boom. What happens if I just ungroup this? That's fine. I'm gonna export a backup real quick, because it's getting about to that point now. Export selection. Is today still the 31st? Yeah, it is. So _1.0_. And we'll answer some questions and stuff while that exports. I've been trying to avoid beer. Been trying to drink the hard seltzers. Have you had Voodoo? Yeah, I like Voodoo too. I try to not drink a whole lot anymore, just because like I am trying to like actually get healthy. But today's the 31st. It's felt like a year this entire month, so I'm gonna relax a bit. Let's see. TikTok has a character limit that's so annoying. Well, if you want to, you can. Jesus, I just had a brain fart. If you want to, I stream on both Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time. So, if you want to send longer messages, YouTube and Twitch are probably better for that. I just want to lose some weight, and beer is too good. I know. It's like eating a whole stack of bread when you have one. But it's worth it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this array of bolts that I have up here so I don't have to remake it. I'm going to group it and center that pivot, and I'm going to put it on top of these little canisters. Why? Because I don't know. $90? See, it's actually lining up there. I can't even see. This is the problem though, is like when the model starts getting this dense, you can't see anymore. Let's see. It should be good. Scale that in just a tad bit. Just realize like each one of those is like slightly tilted for some stupid reason. Hey Puffin, welcome to the Discord. That's true. That's a good point, because I always forget to tell people there is a Discord. So if you'd like to join the Discord, it's a good place to learn, good place to interact with other artists, and it's a good place to chat with me. Thank you for the follow, Benny. Oh, that's Benny. Haha. I appreciate the follow. Sir, are you on YouTube? I am. I'm live right now, too. Okay. Oh, you are on YouTube. Nice. No more character limit. Exactly. That's wonderful. Have you considered transitioning into CAD? A lot of hard surface artists are starting to use CAD over sub-D polygonal. Not until the people that I follow do it. I think a lot of people are doing it because it makes it faster. But the reality is that until it changes in the industry itself, I will not be switching to it. Let's see. How do you stream to the app on Instagram? So you have to have 1,000 followers on Instagram, I think is the limit or something like that. And then when you go live, you can just generate a live key and you can put it in OBS. And then I use a vertical plugin in OBS to stream live. I thought I was already in it. Damn, good thing I checked. Nice. Well, welcome on in. Let's see. I can't hear anything stuck in an ad break. Really? Let me know when you're back. Well, they can't hear anything. I'll give it a minute. Highly recommend checking out Plasticity if you check out CAD. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people using Plasticity. Mr. Hylton, I've used CAD in college. I swear that's for engineering use and not game use. Yeah, it definitely is. For COD, a couple of other shooters, it starts to become the main workflow for weapons artists. Interesting. I'm back. Okay, yeah, so Mystery Machine. No, I don't use it. I'm not going to change until the industry kind of shifts away. And I don't know if the industry is ever going to shift away from sub-D because it's so integrated into pipelines. It's really cool for getting quick results. And I do like that, but it's also the same reason I stay away from like booleans and stuff, because I just don't want to, I don't want to cheat, you know. I want my models to be like as close to like what you would produce in a studio as possible. I love your Maya tips. Thank you so much, Nova. I appreciate that. Would you consider round surfaces with sharp corners to be difficult? Not necessarily. I think I had, and do I have a? Yeah, here we go, right here. This is kind of a example of that. So You can see how this is kind of like a half moon rounded thing with these sharp corners. And like, yeah, the topology is a little goofy, especially when you smooth it. But when you subdivide this, you won't notice anything weird. So they can be a little tricky. In fact, I just found an issue. What is that? Hold on. Hey, look at that. That's a problem. I bet you that got duplicated. It did. I'm glad you brought that up because now I found an issue. So points to you. Yeah, they could be a little tricky, but generally if I'm doing some sort of sharp corner on something rounded, I'll use a kite to kind of support it. And this is basically all a kite is it's just a quad that's kind of like formed into like either an arrow or a kite shape, which would be like the traditional way of doing it. But it took me a while to figure that out. I'm glad this model actually had a good example of that. Oh, let's see. First thing I got taught was booleans, and I quickly learned how bad booleans can be in general. Fixing topology around it is awful if you don't. Yeah, and like I follow a couple artists that do nothing but boolean work. Chud, is this Maya? Yes, this is Maya. Yeah, I do follow a couple artists that do boolean work. And they make really cool stuff, but again, like that stuff is unusable when it comes to like sub D, any of that stuff. So like, yes, you can make cool stuff and it shows that you can do the rest of the process. And I suppose it's probably a really good way to build models quickly and then texture them however you want to. So maybe if you want to focus on texturing, you can do stuff like that. But generally, if you're going for like a workflow in like VFX industry, stuff like that, you want to stick with like sub D. Oh, I still got to do this. Shoot. I forgot about that. Damn. Oh, it's fine. I don't know. Maybe I don't need to do the interior. Because I want these little panels to flip up when it fires, but thinking about it, it's just going to be exhausting anyway. So, like, yeah, I might not do anything with that. Okay. So this, oh, what did I do? I didn't copy it. Damn it. Let's see if this will let me do this way. Maybe. Oh, it will, thank God. All right. That's better. I haven't decided if I'm going to do bolts across this to hold the tubes in. Yeah, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with that yet. Okay. Okay, so vents. We're going to do these vents. If you have a cylinder shape like a screw, how important is it that you average vertices? Doesn't look like it makes much of a difference, but apparently it does. So the reason they want you to average vertices, and I can probably find somewhere some sort of example on here somewhere. Maybe not, because I've spent so much time on this freaking model. We can use this, though. This is actually good. So if we look at this piece, right? So I'll turn the wireframe on. The reason they want you to average vertices is because you want these even spaces between your polygons. Because when you go to smooth this, and we'll crank this up a few divisions. Oh, I just went to like 4. Oops. So hopefully that doesn't crash. But I'll show you. How'd you make the wheel timing belt thing? So I modeled the belt itself, like in chunks, and then I used mesh to create a belt system, and then that's how I worked that in. So, really bad example actually. Let me get back to 2. Okay, so the reason you want to go for that even spacing is because you can still see like how these are pretty much evenly spaced, where you start to see these like little densities are in these supported areas. So what they're trying to avoid is having these really chunky, like dense pieces of mesh running through the, the object itself. You should obviously have them wherever you're supporting your corners and your edges, but they don't want them running through the mesh. So that's probably why they want you to average your corners and stuff like that. It's not something I generally do, so I don't know how much stress you want to put behind that, but I keep forgetting I have a drink. Come on, unsmooth. There we go. All right. I hope that helps. Okay. All right, so we're going to do these little vents in here. I think what I'm going to do... Yeah, so... We'll just do a square. Focus. And then I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go to mesh. No, mesh tools. Insert edge loop. I think I'm going to do multiple edge loops. Let's try 10 of them. No. 16? Just go full 20. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to control delete that. Let's see why I'm doing all this in a second. Okay, so we're going to extrude. Turn faces off. Okay. So that's awesome. Don't need to worry about that any further, really. Let me go up one more. And then go boop. Thin them out. Okay. Same thing here. Go up one more. Alright. This is running really chunky right now. Let's see. Let's see. OMG, you can use average vertices even on flat general surfaces, even with spacing between your edge loops. Yes, absolutely. I gotta run though, starting to get bedtime. Started, good night. Hope you have a great weekend. Kelsey, you have a wonderful weekend too. Thanks for hopping in. Even that right there, being able to create multiple edge loops in the tool settings, I would never have known. Not exactly something a lecturer will show you. No, there's a lot of tools that a lot of people are like really confused about. So you follow me on TikTok, so you probably see the quick tips every once in a while. They are on YouTube and Instagram as well, but I try to show people those little tools because like they don't, oops, don't do that. They don't know those exist, which is a bummer because like they're really helpful. They're super easy to use too. Okay. I don't know why I'm stressed about time. I have till 10:30. All right, so this is where this is going to kind of suck a little bit. This is the only thing I hate about vents. So you have to individually support each blade. So I guess could be worse. This one's not nearly as bad as the ones that I did on top of the turret. That's one thing I did want to do, like a kit bash pack, was a vent pack, because vents are a pain in the ass. Coco Kid, what's up? I've never actually found a more infuriating object to model than a vent. And I don't know, maybe there's a better way to do it, but I have no idea. Is there no, let's see. Is there no tool to copy those edge loops across? No, because these are technically individual pieces, because of the way they extrude off the bottom. I mean, technically, yeah, I guess I could do this down here. Be a little bit faster. But not that I know of. because Maya would have to calculate the distance between all of the objects and the edges, and I just don't think it's capable of that. Could be. I've never found a way to do it, though. But, you know, it's not that bad. And the nice thing is I'm not going to worry about supporting these like interior pieces, so that should be good. Yeah. So I'm going to take that piece and go over here. And that's way too big. How that actually like turned out perfectly, I have no idea. I expected to have to finagle with this for a little bit. Oh, shut up, TikTok. Your live is becoming active. Yeah, because I don't hark people for money. Alright, cool. Let's see. Yeah, your quick tips have come in handy a lot. The major one was the cable creation with the NURBS curves. Even my lecture was amazing. That's good. That one, I feel like that's a pretty common one. But maybe not. Okay, so we're gonna assign a material, micro detail, turn off the wireframe. See how that's looking. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So we're gonna go show, isolate, selected. I'm gonna move our little control point here. Snap that right there. Whew. Maya's freaking me out a little bit right now. Freeze transforms. Perfect. Beautiful. I'm gonna save. Actually, hold on a second. I'm really curious how big this file is right now. Let's find out. This one's version 52. It's 280 megabytes. That's getting rough. Oh man, God Paris, can you show me how to give gun noises, please? Gun noise in Maya? You're gonna want to do that in editing. Hold on a second. Okay. Substance noise on gun. Oh, you're talking like the noise detail? Gotta make gun noises for us, Mr. Grit. Boom, boom, bang, 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 bomb. There you go. Those are free. I could charge hundreds of dollars for those, but those are free for you. I can show you when I start to do it, but right now I'm not gonna open up Substance Painter just because I don't have any models to do it. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. How are we doing on time? We got 10 minutes left until I gotta bail. Thinking, let's see. Again, I do want to do something there. I just don't know what to do there because, like, I got that idea from this, and they didn't really do anything there. Like, there's a vent, but like, there's nothing there. Maybe I just leave it blank. I guess I could just leave it blank. I don't have to stress about it. Can you just use Perlin noise? You could use one of the noise maps. So like any of the like 3D noise or any of the like actual maps in Substance, like you can use those to generate some. God Paris, I'll show you guys when I start texturing this. I'll show you guys, that way you can actually kind of see it. It's gonna be, it'll be a little bit, but if you really want to see how to do that, there's a tutorial on my YouTube that goes over setting up a grenade model, and it shows you how to create your own noise and how to invert it and then use it as like actual like grain damage from like a metal mold. Otherwise, like, I don't have a way to show you right now because I don't have a model ready for you right now. Holy shit, I love the textures you have on those, that honeycomb textures, everything. I know, it's nice. It's very pretty. And these are just like base textures. They're not even... They're just so I can actually make sense of what I'm doing. Oh, I forgot to duplicate that. Group. Like 1. Alright, so that's cool. Oh no. That's not good. That's fine, I'll do that when I clean up. Okay. This space is still too empty for me, so I know I need to do stuff there. I still don't know what to do here. I'm not liking that plate anymore. So that's gonna probably end up getting changed. Yeah, I'm gonna delete that. I don't like it. It was cool when I modeled it, but now I'm not liking it. Oh, let's see. Trying to see if there's anything else like small that I can do before we end stream here. I just don't know. I don't think there is. I don't really know what to do there, honestly. Let's see. Tank. Not the smoke launcher. Tank reference. Tank reference. Images. That's way old of a tank. That's also an old tank. I need like something modern-ish. That's kind of weird. Is it a 3D scan? It's a sketch fab, so it's not going to be great. Okay. That's some sort of 3D scan. Interesting. It's actually kind of cool. So there's like little panels and stuff. Huh. Okay. I could do something like that. I want to do like baskets like this on the side. I think that'll be kind of cool. So, ooh, fuel tanks. That's a good idea. Yeah, there's some stuff I could do. There's some extras I could throw in there. Let's see. Can't wait to see the UV process and texturing. I'm wondering how well the remesh tool would work, just in case you could use it for a cage. Oh, for a game? Yeah, I don't know how well it would work. I mean, I suppose I could try it at some point for sure. But this one's going to be definitely way too dense for a game engine. My Alien, though, like this guy... This was done in Unreal Engine, so all of this was Unreal Engine. And it handled it like a dream. I didn't really have any issues with it aside from nanite. But it did pretty good. Yeah, if you wanted to see what the UVs look like on that one, that's the UDIM setup I used for that one. That one had how many tiles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 tiles? Yeah. Yeah, that one did pretty well. I enjoyed making that one. That one was fun. That one was for me. Okay, so... Well... Without getting into anything crazy, I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and save this, and I guess we'll just kind of bail out a little early. I would like to sit down for a little bit and eat some dinner. Let me get this saved here real quick. While this is saving, Instagram, you guys are always the first to go, so thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you all being here. Hopefully more quick tips throughout the week. And then, yeah, we'll see how next week goes. But I'll be live again on Monday, so you guys will see me then. And until then, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Oh, there's a message. Hold on, sir. Will you start a character model? No, I don't do characters. I don't really plan on doing characters. So, I am doing a creature, and that might lead into more creature models. But right now I'm not doing it. Why don't you just upload the course? What course? I don't have a course yet. I'm making one, but I don't have one yet. Been a pleasure. This has been cool to learn to cool to learn and ask. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and welcome to the YouTube. That way TikTok isn't as crappy with the live stream. Yeah, Usman, I don't have a course, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close out Instagram. So you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you all live on Monday. And then TikTok, same to you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Looks like it was actually a pretty good stream on TikTok, so that's cool. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon. And live and YouTube, you guys are next. Again, everybody who hung out tonight, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It seems like it was a really good stream on... Yeah, it was. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll be live again on Monday. And as always, if you want to communicate offline, make sure you join in the Discord. The links are in my descriptions on YouTube and in my bio and everything else. Yeah. So we'll see you guys later. Yeah, it's good night, Mr. Blazing Man. It's good night. I'll see you guys all later. And then Twitch.